Hello. Right, so this video is going to be a combination of some of my favourite ASMR triggers and also just a few tips and tricks on how to manage anxiety and overwhelm and find a nice, calming, relaxing inner peace. I used to struggle a lot with anxiety in the past, and I've done a lot of work over the years, and I know a lot of different techniques, and I will be using them in various videos along with my roleplay stuff and anything I can do to help you relax and feel calm and go to sleep easily. So I'm going to start with just a few hand movements and talk a little bit about how I manage my anxiety in the moment, and then we're going to talk a little bit about how to manage anxiety in the long term as well. Okay, so first of all, are you comfortable? Good. So I used to have very bad anxiety, and I worked a lot over the years to get to a place where I do still have anxiety now and then, but it's very infrequent, and I know exactly how to deal with it when it comes up, and I catch it a lot sooner. So it never actually gets to a point where I struggle anymore. And it comes down to a self-awareness, I think, noticing the first signs, knowing when you're starting to get to that point, and being able to dial back the anxiety gradually over time, so that perhaps in the past you might have gone from 0 to 10, and then you might go from 0 to 7, 0 to 6, 0 to 5, 4, 3 to 1, and it basically becomes something that's far more manageable and almost non-existent. And if it does come up badly, then it doesn't last anywhere near as long. So some of the things I have done in the past, and still do now when I have anxiety, is I make sure that I get back into the present moment, into the here and now. Because anxiety comes, and overwhelm and all those nasty things often come from places where we are projecting ourselves into the future, or we're thinking about the past. Very, very rarely, or maybe even impossible, to be anxious when you are very much in the moment, when you're absorbed in the now. So I'm just going to move on to some beautiful light triggers. If you could just follow the light while I talk, okay? Good. So one way to get yourself back into the present moment is to observe what's around you. That's it, just keep following the light. And just talk to yourself. Comment on what's going on around you. I can hear the birds, I see the trees, the light is on, the door is closed. That pillow is very fluffy. Things like that. It sounds silly, but trust me, it works. If that's not your cup of tea, then physical, if you're more of a kinesthetic person, which I am as well, then I find that actually having, if someone's around me, to put their hand on my back. Okay, if you can just look at my nose while I have a little shine on your face here. So if someone can actually physically ground me by putting their hand on my back or on my legs and just bring me back down, that works great. If no one's around, then I do it for myself. My back is a little trickier, but I'll lean on a sofa or my back against the wall, and I'll put my hands on my thighs or on my stomach and just, just kind of bring it back to the moment. These are very quick tricks that can help you get back to the present moment. There's also EFT, which is emotional freedom tapping. Okay, if you just follow the light again. Just going to dip it in and out. Okay, just look at the light when it appears. There's emotional freedom tapping, and that is essentially a series of tapping particular trigger points and using phrases like I am safe, I am calm, everything is fine, I am here, I am present, stuff like that. There's a whole lot you can learn about that, so I won't go too much into it, but look it if you haven't heard about it, it is very, very good. And I'm also very much into my holistic therapies, like using essential oil. Just stay still a sec. I love using essential oil. If you haven't seen my essential oil video, do check it out. I am definitely into using smells, using sprays. I have a CBD oil that I use that brings me back. I've got a Bach's flower remedy, but there are other types of things that you can get from places like the sort of health food shops. And I think that, you know, even if they are a placebo, it still works, and that's what matters. I think that CBD does have something to it, but of course always talk to your doctor, check the ingredients of things, and make sure you are safe to take it. Sorry, my battery died for a sec there. So those are some of the ways that I have a brush now. Those are some of the ways that I get myself back to the present moment. And in the long term, it's about the mindset and understanding why we get anxious, because what we want to do is prevent it. I'm just going to do some face brushing for you. And it's always important to look at diet, what you're eating and drinking. I haven't had caffeine for over 15 years, and that's made a big difference. But also I find sometimes high fatty foods or rich foods can trigger me as well with my anxiety. It just ends up making me feel a bit ill, and that ends up bringing anxieties around. So a lot of it is preventative, and that is far more important obviously than always just trying to deal with it in the moment. You want to be able to prevent it happening. Okay. So look at your diet, check what you're eating and drinking, make sure nothing is upsetting your internals, your gut flora, that kind of thing. And then check your lifestyle as well. Is there anything that you can do, like rushing less or cutting out people from your life who bring you stress? Now, it's not always possible, because I know sometimes, you know, family can be one of the biggest stressors, and you can't really just cut out family. But if there's any relationships you can mend, if there's anything you can do to set yourself some boundaries, and boundaries are hugely important. Setting yourself boundaries so that you do not get yourself into a difficult situation that brings on any of those anxieties. Learning to say no, learning to say thank you very much for inviting me, but I don't feel like going today. Alternatively, if you feel like you need to get out more now that the world is getting back to some kind of new normal, call up somebody, have a conversation, arrange a meeting, get out and see people. I know that I benefit massively from seeing people now and then, but I do also need my downtime and my alone time to just reset and recalibrate. But yeah, I hope that some of that is helpful. Now I'm just going to talk a little less and trigger a little more to help you relax even further. But I just want you to know that it's possible. It may seem impossible, but it is very possible to reduce and practically eliminate anxiety and stress from affecting your life in the way that it might well be. And sometimes it takes little changes, and sometimes it takes big changes. But the important factor is to remember that you're in control. And even if you can't affect the surroundings that you have to be in every day, for example, if you have to go to work that you don't enjoy, you can make a long-term plan to get a different job or start your own business. And if that's not even an option right now, then you just work on what's going on in here. just going to do one more little check. You stay still. So just remember, okay, that you do have control. There's always something you can change. There's new boundaries you can set. There's something you can do for yourself in the moment and in the long term. I promise. There's always something. So give yourself a chance to breathe and check yourself. Find some quiet space that you can sit in and ask yourself, okay, how can I improve this situation? What can I do to remove some of the stresses in my life? And the more you do that, the more you'll realise just how much control you have. And if you need anything to get you in the right kind of frame of mind, gratitude is gold dust. It is just sprinkly, beautiful, glittery magic. And there is always something to be grateful for. If you are watching this, then you have internet, you have technology, you have power. Those are all things to be grateful for. So we can start there. If you have running water, if you have hot water, you have a roof over your head, these are all things to be grateful for. So practice gratitude and you will find that that is essentially like a magic eraser of anxiety, because it just gets you in such a good place. And the more you do it, the more you will feel just better, frankly. So yeah, that is everything for tonight, because I need to go, and I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Please do let me know if there's anything that you do to help you manage anxiety, because somebody else may read it in the comments and find it helpful. So please do comment anything that you do that helps you. Well, that was relaxing for me anyway. Sending you lots of relaxing, peaceful vibes, and I will be back with another roleplay video very soon.